Sales, sales, sales. This is a word that a lot of people actually have a negative attachment to it because they feel like selling is just about pushing somebody, a product down somebody's throat. I was actually the same way. I used to have the same mindset about this, but then I finally understood what sales was. Sales is giving. There's a difference between convincing somebody and persuading somebody. Convincing somebody is pretty much convincing them to tell something that they don't really want to do, so you're convincing them to do something. Persuading is giving somebody enough information where they can make the decision on their own. And that's what I think sales is. Sales is pretty much a conversation you're having with a prospect that you're providing them information so they can make a decision to work with you or not. Almost like if a patient goes see the doctor pretty much sits down with them and says, hey, how's it going? What are your symptoms? What are you feeling? Do you have a headache? What does it hurt? Whatever. Ask them a series of questions. Then once those questions are answered, the doctor has like an estimated guess or a decision to make or a medicine or whatever to give you, right? That's what I think sales is. And the sales is super, super important when you're running a business. One sale can completely change your life. And what I mean by one sale. So look, this also especially when it comes to advertisement. When you start running ads and you don't have the skills of sales, you are fucked, my friend. You are screwed. If you're bad at talking to people, do not start running ads because you're gonna have it's not gonna be a good time. The reason why I say one sale can completely change your life, because once you finally are confident that you can put money into a machine to generate you leads, right? Because essentially running ads is you're buying customers. You're literally giving money to Meta for they could give you a customer. As long as the acquisition to acquire the client is profitable, you're good. For example, for our funding offer, we spend on average like $1,200, like $1,200 to $1,500 for somebody to pay me $7 or $8 grand for my funding offer. Okay, so I'm technically paying Facebook about $1,000 or so, and then that client pays me $7 to $8 grand so I could get them funded, right? This all has to do with sales, and one sale could completely change your life, because if you can actually run an ad, right? Create an ad. That ad goes into a VSL or opt-in page, right? You get on the call and you close this motherfucker. I'm telling you, it'll completely change your life, because once you feel confident that like, hey, I could close anybody, this will be the most liberating feeling in your life. The first time I made my first sale for a couple thousand, oh my God, I felt like, fuck, I thought I was a superhero, man. I'm like, I could fly now. Like I could touch the moon if I wanted to. I am telling you, the impact that had on me finally making a sale online, it completely changed my business and my trajectory to business, because I finally understood what sale was. I was always running away from sales just because I was like, I don't want to do sales. I just had like a negative mentality when it came to sales, because again, I thought sales was about convincing somebody and shove my product down somebody's throat to buy it. But again, I didn't understand sales. I was naive, and that's why I had like a negative attachment to the word. But when I finally started making my first sale, and that's what I'm saying, all you need is one sale to completely change your life, because then it comes, a snowball effect happens, right? I made my first sale and I'm like, holy fuck, guys. I was like, holy bejesus. I'm telling you, and oh man, I wish I could give you that feeling, or if you already know, you know what the hell I'm talking about. Once you make your first sale, that you're just like, honestly, being completely real with you, I felt like the excitement I felt for getting my first sale was more exciting than when I first saw like 100K in the bank, right? I guess just because when I'm getting to like 100K in my bank or whatever the number is, I kind of see the money going up, and it's kind of like predictable. Like, oh, I'm about to have, 6 figures in my bank account, whatever. But the first sale, oh my God, like I was so excited. Like I literally was like, oh my God, if you have never made a sale online for a couple $1,000s, wait till you experience this. It's gonna change your whole life. And this is why I wanted to make this video, that one sale, everyone, one sale will completely change your life. That's all you need. You just need to have one sale, prove the concept, and prove it to yourself that you can make an ad, you can upload it to Facebook, Google, whatever the hell it may be. You can let it run. Somebody books a call with you. They show up, and then you close them for a couple $1,000, and then you see the cost of what it took you to make that happen. You'd be like, holy shit. Like I said, I'm average spending maybe like 1,000, max to 1,500 to acquire a client that pays me $7,000 to $8,000. The first time that happened, I was actually not selling it and actually, let me wind it up a bit. The first sale I made online was not for a couple thousand. It was actually for a couple hundreds. The first time I started doing sales, I was so nervous that I didn't even get on a Zoom call because I didn't want these people to see me. Just because I was just so nervous and insecure, which is like, hey, whatever, we all go through it. You just gotta make 100. At this point, I've taken over almost 2,600 sales calls. Probably gonna be 3,000 by the end of the year, or whatever it may be. Point is, I first started selling my funding offer for just $500. Yeah, just $500 because I was so insecure. I got on the phone. I'm like, hey, and I get them the whole farm. I'm like, I'll walk your dog. I'll get you funded. What do you need? I'll drive you to the doctors. Like, what do you need? Please buy my product, right? Which, whatever. I was just extra selling it just because I was so insecure. Even though the offer was already good enough, I didn't need to extra sell, but it was just insecurities that I have. But my first 10 sales for my funding offer was just $500. I was just honestly trying to prove the concept to myself that I could do it. Once I did that, I raised the price to 1,000, right? And then I started selling my funding offer a couple for 1,000. Then after that, I started doing it for 2,000. And then I bumped the price up, then I bumped the price up, then I bumped the price up into all the way to, like I said, over $8,000. And it was the same service. It was the same offer. The same exact offer that I used to sell for $500, I'm selling today for $8,000. What changed? Fucking nothing changed. The offer didn't change. They can actually get less than before. Before we used to give them a big ass course and all this extra stuff because I was overselling. And we're still selling it for $8,000. Now, what is the main thing? It's because I got comfortable with sales. I got comfortable with speaking to prospect. I got comfortable with people saying no. I got comfortable with people not showing up. I got comfortable to be people saying, well, I don't have any money to pay you, And then all those things starts to add up. Of course, your first 100 calls is going to be fucking horrendous. People are not going to show up. People are going to tell you they're broke. People are going to tell you, I'm going to think about it. People they're going to tell you, I just speak to my wife. People are going to tell you, I don't trust you. All the objections under the sun you're going to deal with, but you need that. You need to go through that so you can finally feel comfortable and confident to be like, hey, I could ramp up the ad spend because I know for a fact I could close one of these deals out of 5, 3, 10, 20, whatever the amount is, right? Even and like this almost like a cardinal sin. I don't like to say this too much, but I kind of let me say example I'm talking about. Let's say you spend $2,000 on ad and you only sold one product for $2,500. Most people be like, oh, like that's not too good. I see that as a good sign because it's a sign that things are working. Yes, it is costing you an arm and a leg to just make $500. It's not really good ROI on ads. Like it's not really good ROAS, but things are working. Then later because maybe it costed you $2,000 to make $500 because your closing rate is maybe 15%. Or maybe you have a very high show up rate, so half your clients are not showing up, so that's why it costs you too much. There's so many variables that play into this. But if you can finally feel confident that if you get 10 people in front of you in your Zoom calls or on your calendar, whatever it may be, and you can close at least 3 to 4 because your closing percentage is 30 to 40, this will make you into an absolute savage. The reason I was able to make we're making almost $2 million per year. The only reason I'm able to do that is because I am closing almost more than half of the clients that get in the call with me. If I didn't have that skill, well, one, it's gonna be hard for me to delegate it too, because if I can't close a deal at fucking X price, how the hell am I gonna expect a closer that I just hired to do the same, right? They're not even gonna listen to my leadership because they're like, motherfucker, like you haven't even closed a single deal. And I see this happening all the time. I see people trying to outsource something, and this is with our own clients or not my own clients, conversations that I have with other business owners. They are dying to delegate something that they've never done. Stop that. You have to do every aspect of your business until you're ready to delegate. Because then if you delegate something that you haven't already proved to yourself that you could do, and you already have KPIs and all that stuff, why the hell do you think some random guy is gonna do it, and not only do it better than you? That is not gonna happen. The likelihood of that happening is probably lower than 10%. I'm not saying that it cannot happen. I'm sure you could probably find like a badass closer or a badass setter or a badass fulfillment guy, whatever, and just right away you guys hit it off and you guys are making gazillion dollars together. Hey, happy for you, that's the case for you. But usually it's not gonna work that way, right? So I need anybody who's watching my videos to really understand that sales is the most important part about this business. Marketing is very important, because let's talk about marketing and sales real quick. So for me, I think sales is bad marketing. What do I mean by this? If you have to sell so much on your calls and you gotta do all this crazy jumping to hoops and mental gymnastics for you, can't even pronounce the word, gymnastics, for you can close somebody, you probably have a marketing problem. Now, not every call is gonna go smooth because your marketing is so on point. Even me, I have my marketing pretty top level, and sometimes I get on this call and I still have to, sell these people. But half of the time, somebody gets on my call and they're closed within 15 to 20 minutes. Why? Because the marketing is good. And when I first was starting off, since I'm a better marketer than a salesperson, I think the only reason I was getting sales back to back is because my marketing was good. So it made the sales process much smoother, right? But that doesn't mean that you can slack off on sales. I'm telling you, when I first started off, I had a horrible closing rate. I think it was like 18%. Maybe it was even lower than that, to be honest. I kind of forgot, but I know for sure it was under 20%, right? So very low closing percent. It wasn't until like maybe 6 months down the line, or even 8 months down the line, that I got to like a 70% closing rate, which is absolutely absurd. It's very, very high, but I was doing it. I was able to do it because by that time I already taking about fucking like 1,000 calls or something. I was taking almost four to five calls a day for 2 years for my funding offer. No shit. I'm gonna get better at it. So what happened? My marketing got better. My sales got dramatically better, from like a barely 20% to a 60%. You know what I did to my business? It fucking 3x in profits. Literally, my business 3x in profits because my closing rate went from 20 to 60. It probably even made more. It probably even 5x'd it. If we sit down actually write what was the actual growth. So that's what I'm telling you, everyone. Sales, one measly sales can completely change your life, because once you're feeling comfortable and confident, hey, I could close this deal, I'm telling you, it's gonna be game changer. Your whole perspective on business will change, because you can now see the path to success. You can now be like, okay, my cost to acquire is this, my cost per book call is this, my closing rate is this, my average cash on hand is this. So if I spend this much, I'm gonna make this much. And that's all it is, right? So as soon as you start getting some sales in and you already know your KPIs, from there on, it's just literally math. It's literally math. And you can break it down this way. Let's say your average cost per book call is $2,000, right? So you spend, $200, and you want to talk to 10 people. So now you spend $2,000. Let's say you have a 10% no-show. So now you have 9 people left, right? Let's say you have a 30% closing rate. So you're gonna close 3 of these guys. And on average, you're getting, let's say your program is 6K, and people are starting with 3K down. Let's say average cash on hand is around 3K. So there the math becomes, okay, I spent 2K, and 3 people gave me 3K, so I spent 2K to make 9. Okay, can I do this every fucking day? And that literally becomes the math. How can I do this every day? Once you have KPIs, once you're tracking your metrics correctly, you can predictably scale because you have your KPIs. And again, this all starts from one fucking sale. You're able to close one deal, that one deal will catapult your business to like where I am at today. It's literally started from one ad, one sale, and here I am almost 3 years later making almost $2 million per year, right? But it didn't happen overnight. I'm telling you, I took a bunch of sales calls, talking to the worst types of leads I've ever, talking to the worst quality, because I was trying to work at it. You gotta work at it. If you get on 10 calls and half of them are crackheads, does it mean you guys have taken calls? No, you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going. There's something about Alex Ramosi that he talks about the rule 100. And I love this, that he's like, let's say we talk about DMs, book 100 calls. Let's say about sales, book 100 sales or close 100 sales calls. Let's say for fulfillment, fund 100 deals. Once you do this, you'll have all the data you need to how to move forward. But a lot of people haven't even taken 10 sales calls and they're wondering why they're not closing. Or some people are sending, let's say you're doing DMs, have talked to 20 people and they're like, I can't book a call. You have to have volume in your business. Volume negates luck. If you want to be successful, it's all about volume. The more volume you have, the luckier you get. So to wrap up this video, one sale, everyone, can completely change your life. One fucking measly sale. And for me, my first sale was only $500. It's not that it was $1,000, but I started at first 500. And then slowly. Now we have offers that are 25,000. We have offers that are even 45,000. How the fuck did I do that? Well, first, it didn't start like that. Like I said, I was selling $500 my funding services, and the same offer I'm selling it today for $8,000. And all the change, it was literally my mindset, the way I look at this. That's the only thing that changed. The offer didn't change. Actually, things were removed from the offer and they were oversimplified. It's not just get funded, and I'm charging way more, right? And that all happened. Yes, of course, good marketing. You need to have good ads. You need to have good landing pages. You need to have all besides all that. But the most important is I was able to close a deal. I was able to put $1 into the machine. The machine booked me a call, and I was able to close that deal. Again, don't feel discouraged if you're just starting off and you hadn't made a sale and maybe you spend, let's say, $1,000 on ads. You're like, I haven't gotten a sale. It's okay, brother. Keep it going. If anything, think about it like this. I am giving this machine money to train me on sales, to train me on marketing, to train me how to run this business correctly. All right. So if you're spending money on ads, of course, make the money back, because goddamn, that shit gets expensive. But also keep in mind that you're learning skills as the more you spend. You're not just throwing that money into the air and nothing is happening. No, things are happening. Let's say people are getting to get to know you. Let's say you do some DM funnel, so you're talking to people back and forth. You get to know your market a lot better. So things are happening. You need to make the sale so you can make at least back the money. And like I said before earlier in the video, it is, in this all example, it is totally okay to spend $1,000 and you make $1,000 back. That at least you're proving that the system does work. All you gotta do is cut the fat and kind of like, adjust. That's all advertising is pretty much throwing a bunch of ads out there that you think they're going to connect with the audience, then cut the fat, do it again, and optimize, adjust, optimize, track, optimize, adjust. And you do this over and over again to hit the sweet spot that you're actually booking calls at a profitable, cost and acquiring clients as well. All right. So again, most important thing that you can have as a business owner is actually having the skill of sales. This is the number one thing that actually made me a lot of money. Besides the marketing, I feel like you need to have both together. It's like, okay, so I think marketing is almost like the heartbeat of the business. Sales is the brain. Why is marketing the heart? Because it's the heartbeat of the business. It's what pumps blood into the business. That's the marketing, right? It's the leads. It's the machine feeding you content flow of deal flows. You get me? It's the blood of the business. It's the heartbeat. And then sales will be the brain, which is the one that converts all those leads into actually paying clients. But you need both. Without those two things, you are screwed, right? So lock the fuck in. Watch as many sales videos as possible, as many trading videos as possible. There's so many right now, so many different offers. Like Jeremy Miner, it's a great company. Like his company is great 7th level. There is a great company that literally just teaches you how to sell better. So if you're somebody right now who's struggling with that skill, like, hey, I'm struggling to make more sales because X, Y, and Z, invest in that skill. And like I said, spending money on ads and you getting in front of the calls is technically investing in that skill. Don't get it twisted. Don't feel like, hey, just because I didn't close this person, nothing happened. You're still investing in that skill. I don't know how many times we're working with a client and they have gotten on 10 to 20 calls and they shit the bed on all of them, and they're like, then they feel so discouraged that they don't ever want to take a sales call again, and then they want to outsource it to somebody. This has happened multiple times. This exact thing, and it actually has happened more with females entrepreneurs than male. I feel like maybe, they get a little bit insecure because like, oh fuck, I can't close a single deal. It's a little bit hard. If you're a female, you gotta be tough skin. You gotta be okay with it. I gotta do it again. I do it until you finally do. But if you're that person right now that's going through a few calls and you're not closing them, and you're spending money on ads, that's what's helping you train. That's what's helping you get your skill better. Okay, but still, don't always just rely on ads and the calls that you have. Please join different programs, watch different videos. There's so much content out in the world about how to be a better closer. Consume all of it. I was doing the same thing. I was consuming everything I had in my reach to increase my closing rate. I literally was buying everything I could, every program. I read every book on sales because I knew that if I get my closing rate from my 20 to 30%, I knew I was gonna make it in life and I was gonna get out of the position that I was in. Okay, so this is you, and you're watching this and you're like, fuck, I'm really struggling with sales. Good. We all were struggling with sales, all of us. I mean, maybe some people started and they're really good at sales. Hey, if that was you, hallelujah to you, the more power to you. But like me, I wasn't good at all. I was actually terrible. I was terrified of and just constantly be told no or anything. I just didn't like it. But I learned to fall in love with it, and now I think it's one of the main reasons why I'm making so much money is because I'm a good marketer and I could talk to people.